Red Trouser Runner, gotta be done. I'll figure out how I use my head torch. Concentrate on checkpoint now.
Yeah, that's the one.
Where's that extra? Yeah. Not bad when you're doing this from the start line. The journey begins. Just good to get the first van stop out of the way, so I made one little mistake, had to backtrack roughly about half a mile, but it's they're going to happen from time to time, just missing the signs, especially on this nighty section, so a little mistake, not too much hassle, so it's good, make the most of it. Yeah, it's not too bad, just top up the water and get going again.
Very mild, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a lot milder than I thought it was going to be.
All got gloves, everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Right, so we've got to head off in that direction and round the castle that way. But that potatoes. I've got a couple of sandwiches. I'll probably have a sandwich at the next one, so.
Right. Has Nobby not got any cold weather gear?
But this is, I'm warm underneath this.
Nobby.
No, Nobby, no, Nobby doesn't have any.
Can't bloody shrink.
No, yeah.
He won't. We will.
No, Nobby stays that way, I boy. Right.
Alright, lads.
We'll catch you a little bit. I mean, the drizzle hasn't affected it that much, but it's been the beach. The last section I had to do on my own, and it wasn't so bad because I could get concentrated on the running.
Yeah.
And I got a good rhythm going on the tarmac, but once I hit the beach, it was just like the rhythm totally went. The feet were just sinking. You could just about walk on it, and then I could feel my foot rubbing underneath, and I was like, I just knew it was going to be quite a long section of beach.
Total elevation gain so far, I think it's 23 foot or something. 20.
Yeah, And this
Great climbing.
day one's always going to be the hardest day because it is tarmac and it's my worst part of running. With a tarmac, I know this front tendon here always goes.
Yeah.
So, and I've already felt it.
Preempting it.
I'll get some freeze spray on it in a minute. I'll get a nice drink of fizzy pop in a minute.
Yeah, but day 3 you'll be shitting water. Glucose tablets, fucking gels and coke.
Stop between the last stop. I had a couple of paracetamols. Yeah, I had a couple of paracetamols. As you can see, I put the strap over the tendon.
Yeah.
And it's moving a bit more freely now.
Does it not get any worse?
So it got worse before that.
Yeah.
So I was struggling from the stop from Penzance to First on Sea. I was really struggling, and it was just like really bad on the tendon. It was just like, right,
Yeah.
just knew I needed to do something to try. Needed to get that sort of big day in for day one, having that time scale as well. So starting at the midnight, it gave me I had the plan of around 22 hours for the first day, so it was okay for me. I was mentally prepared for it, so got caught out a bit with the rain, and it caused a bit of trench foot underneath my foot, which gave me trouble straight away. But overall, I was quite happy with day one. It was just the ending of it that caught me out. It's because I had already started on sleep deprivation. When I got to Bangor, the sleep deprivation was definitely catching up with me, and trying to get through that final bit through Bangor in pitch black. The navigation wasn't quite right, and my head wasn't quite right, but overall day one went quite well. Section, and I got myself moving, and I was feeling good, and then I missed my turning, so it was like, right, there's the first mistake of the day. That was fine. I ended up slowly climbing up and rejoining the route that I needed to do, but on that first section I hit a steep hill and it just really hit into my ankle, and the pain shot through me and I broke down, and it was just like, this is day two, can I really do this? And it's where it really focused my mental side to it, but I knew the pain was to come, but I knew I could carry on through it, and I knew I was putting everything on the line for this, and I was gonna have these little niggles, but as long as I focused mentally, I could break through it and I could carry on. And then Sturdy and Vic passed me in the van and beat the horn, and I was just thinking, right, make it to Penman Point, then I've got Vic with me for the rest of the day. But then they pulled up a little there earlier, which was great for me, because it meant it took the focus away from the pain, and I could then just sort of get like in a happier place to carry on for the rest of the day. And it was great, the weather was coming out, it was nice sunshine, and I could crack on with the day then, and it was just fantastic weather.
Bring my disinfectant, man. Oh, you muppet. No, really, that needs a full drain, but I don't think we should do that till... It's just going to be... See, look, that... I'll get infected if we don't sort that tonight. And we need to cut your toenails, because they're only going to dig into the bottom of your shoes.
Yeah, it's
On a scale of 1 to 7, how painful is that?
It's not too bad.
See, we can tape across it, but we can't pull this out because it won't stay.
No, that's what I mean. It's just like it's going to keep...
What we can do is, what you could do is you could hold it and I could put some pressure on the tape. Right, let go. I don't want to wrap around this little toe.
coffee or something that goes on, isn't it?
What do you say? Sourdough plaster, or are you just going to leave it for now?
He needs to let him out, he needs to rip everything off and start from scratch. Show me where it hurts on this tender.
It's this big tendon here.
Do you know if it's warm enough?
I am on the toe.
Yeah. Is it burning, Craig? I do a lot of gardening.
I can't really lift this.
See you in 10 miles.
Oh, Ted.
Yeah.
So, I wanted to go to the lighthouse, now we're at the lighthouse.
Lighthouse is cool.
Yeah, that's where we're going now.
Exactly how I do it.
Yeah, otherwise there's no flavour.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of having 2-minute noodles? You might as well just have water.
Yeah, you can't be dunking a chocolate digestive in a cup of tea. It always gets stuck if I take them whole.
So it sticks.
Just do this and I'll stick it on.
Oh yeah, you still get lost and you still have to backtrack, and when you start to lose daylight, it becomes even more questionable, and you're like, right, okay, and because you're on such technical terrain as well, especially around by the cliffs and the bays, you're having to make sure your footing's right, so it takes more timing to make sure you are on the right path, and when you do question yourself, and when your head's not quite right, you're like, right, and sometimes you question yourself every 2 minutes. You know you are on the right path, but you still question yourself, because you're losing the daylight, and because sometimes you're just like, is this the right way? Especially when you're with just your head torch. It's crazy, and you're like, yeah, and you know you're on the right way because there is no other path, but you still question it, and you still get your GPX out, and it's like, why is this taking so long?
Yeah?
So, looking at this, it's saying car parks off, you should car park and turn right on the road. Is there a road?
The GPS says we're going to veer in off into the beach, isn't it?
I think that's what so
It's weird through a broken wall, isn't it? We just break this wall so people can come through this way.
yeah. This angle's cool now. You know when you still that hole in the heel bit? Yeah!
What did it take to? 9?
Yeah, you got some 9 miles an hour.
Look, Craig, let's see. It's the only time I'll ever beat you on a speed run.
Yeah, it's round the other side, isn't it? Throughout the day it was great, and then it got into the night section, and the night section hit us a bit, and where you joined us, it was getting darker and darker. I was getting more tired and more tired, and the sleep deprivation was kicking in. And at the end of day 2, we got into that van point at midnight. There was still one section left to do, but Vic was getting tired. It was just going to be the 2 of us, and I knew the section was going to be right by the cliffs, so it was making that judgment call, and it was just like, right, no, safety was, no, we have to stop. My tiredness was there, Vic's tiredness was there. It was like, it was going to be dangerous to carry on, so it was just like, no, we need to call it a night, and we'll start there in the morning. So that's what we did, and now he drove us to where the checkpoint would have been. We got a bit of kip, and then we would drive back to where we stopped for day 3.
What's the total now?
Miles.
Yeah.
I don't know, we're not speaking about it, I don't think.
Mileage today is 10 miles. And we started at 6 this
We've
morning.
got an early start, so at least we've got him into a schedule now. Told him he's got to keep that early start tomorrow, so that's good.
Nearly 145 miles. That's a big number.
It's
Not bad at all, yeah.
This is only morning of day 3.
Yeah, just Trina. I think you forget this is only day 3.
And you're well over halfway around Anglesey.
Right,
You'll be
So,
here.
saying he's done the hardest bit on Anglesey. That terrain up there was terrible.
Definitely made the right decision last night.
Yeah. Did it get worse? Because last night that last segment was up,
Yeah.
down, up, down. I kept on going back to the cliffs just to film them for like 10 seconds, and I was literally like, this is insane.
Well, the next session, that bit that we've just done
Yeah.
is even more insane.
Bloody hell.
Because there's parts of it where you are literally right next to the cliff edge. And you're like, if we had been there in the dark and there's hardly any markers,
Yeah.
it's just like, I think it's because it's so long, such a long time in the shoes.
Yeah.
sorry, did you say there was pain here? Or is it the front,
I do.
going through the front now?
If you get one, go around here.
And what's that to support?
That's just probably out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, somewhere.
We had like sunshine. Yeah. It wasn't bad at all. And then it got cold.
Never done any of this.
And before you, literally, it just out of nowhere, just boom.
That was a crazy last bit, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. This morning hasn't gone that well. I've had real bad troubles with feet, and then we've just had a snow blizzard, which was crazy. And although my Achilles was hurting, it was just like, nah, let's get back to the van, and I got a bit of movement on.
Yeah, you're saying just when that snow blizzard started, kicked you off a little.
Yeah, it was. It started hailstoning at first, so it was like, this hurts. Yeah, let's get moving. I'm not spending my whole time in this hailstones, and it just sort of kicked me into gear, and it was like, right, well, yeah, go through the pain, get to the van, get some food, and get. Yeah,
Come out now.
Sun's coming out now, so see how we get on this afternoon and try and make the most of the light while we've got it.
Yeah.
I mean, if I can kick on, then I'll kick on and see how far I can get. If I've got to take it easy, then try and get to 5 stack. Everyone's saying it's been good progress, but for me, it's been like sort of like a dead weight day. It's just felt as if it's not gone anywhere. And I think that's just the athlete in me. And you set your targets and you get a bit disappointed, but I know I'm gonna have ups and downs, and it's like you've got to take it day by day. But I think it was more just frustration today, especially this morning. You want to run, but your feet just won't allow it, and you're just more frustration. And it's like this feels like a wasted day rather than a productive day. But hopefully this afternoon I can now get out there, maybe push on a little bit more and see how far we can get with it and see where we can go. got to the next van stop where we caught yourself off guard because you were going to join me for Holyhead Mountain, but we got to that stop and you weren't quite ready, and but I was feeling good, and then we went out on Holyhead Mountain and I got myself going again, and I was in sort of a happier place, and my foot kicked into place again, and I was getting back to pace. We hit Holyhead Mountain and we got up to South Stack and I was in a good place. So Vic took me to Mackey's. Malky was planning a run and then he decided it's too cold, no, I'm not running.
I went to bed instead.
Actually, is you need the tightness of the shoes. It really doesn't help when you got no comfort. So it sort of squashes a little toe a bit and the little toes all taped up, but getting the shoes on still hurts. And because I had to use my trail shoes yesterday, they got a little damp inside, so I've had to bring out the brand new pair, which is why I'm stretching them now. Unfortunately, they didn't, when I ordered them, next day delivery, they didn't come for another week. I had a load of shit with Sports Direct, and so I didn't get to break them in. I'm definitely feeling it. The Achilles is a bit tender at the moment. Do you eat jelly babies?
You too?
Not that.
Jeez.
like my own personal escort.
Okay, thank you. Looks like you need before the sun.
Right. Very tough. Shin splint set in at half a mile.
Yeah.
So I've just been trying to walk and jog it and just I'll get some cool on it now and try to stretch it out. And everything just deteriorated and my shins just felt like they were on fire. So I was back down to walking pace and it was just like, okay, I'm okay, I can just, as long as I can just get through this section. I knew I had yourself and Gordon rejoining me for the section from Mitchley through Newborough Forest, and but things just went totally wrong, and I came to a standstill with the shin splints, and I was literally couldn't walk.
2 spots that were fucking knee deep in water that fucking, and then you know how quickly it comes in.
Yeah, very quickly.
I reckon another 10 minutes and we would have had ourselves a real party up there. So he's woken up this morning and he's absolutely drenched.
What, did it rain?
No, he's just not feeling great this morning.
Sweats through the night.
Got in from the run at 12:30. No? What am I on about? Fucking at 10:20, I think. Yeah. Got sorted. Didn't have time to soak his feet. Finally got to piggyback him. You just keep quiet so I can fucking get a word in. arms, keep it down.
Did you have a better night's sleep last night than the night before? There wasn't any rain, was there?
Wasn't any rain, but it was just like just woke up and I was fully covered in sweat. I think that's what's probably done me in this morning, is I've woken up and my clothes are just literally bringing the sweat. So it's just... because you're covered in sweat, it's just like you don't want to move. I think the worst one I had was, you know, like that paralysis thing.
Yeah.
I was sleeping and then I must have been in a bad place, and it was one of those dreams, you know, where you can't breathe. And it was literally, I needed to take a breath in. It was just like, felt paralysed and just couldn't breathe. It was just like...
horrible.
When I did, it was like, oh. Yeah, it's fresh. I think the shin splint just hit in, and it's just like, can't do nothing with it, can you? Yeah. As soon as that hits in, you're like, it's just a nightmare.
As soon as I got out of the van, I felt the shin splints kicking straight away. And it was mentally, I was better prepared for this time. It wasn't like day 3, where day 3 I sort of panicked, and the mental side sort of gave me a little wobble. Whereas day 5, it was like, no, okay, I've got pain, right, it's going to be a slow day. But as long as I can make some miles, then I'm moving forward. So I knew I was in a good mental state, and it was just like, right, okay, it's going to be a slow day, I'm just going to have to grind this out and see what I can do. And it was a very, very slow day. The shin splints were really bad all day, but just grinding it out mile by mile. And I had Gordon and Laurent for the company, so it helped me sort of just focus and move slowly forward. The main focus was getting off the island of Anglesey. It was like, right, no, come on, you have to get off this island today. And as we got towards Menai Bridge, it was like, right, okay, and there was a van stop, and it was lunchtime, and everyone was rallying around to get some ice on my shins, and came down with her family to try and sort my feet out. You were coming, trying to find some ice, and we ended up with 4 bags of peas. So it was sat there like this with 4 bags of peas on my shins, just trying to cool them down and trying to sort out the shin splints. And it really it really helped having the peas on there. It was a slow stop, but it had to be done. The next section was 9 miles to Carnarvon, and we decided if I could make it to Carnarvon, then that would be a good stop. It would be an earlier stop for the day again, but to try and get that early stop and try and get the ice and try and relieve a bit of the tension on my shins was going to be the right thing to do. So it was focusing for those 9 miles. End of Angle C.
Yeah, regroup.
A lot happier.
Hey?
A lot happier.
A lot happier. Climb in and then if you're cold.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Oh, you need a step.
No. I got into the van, I thought I had finished for the day. So I took all my kit off, I took the phone off, I was ready to stop my Strava, and Malky said, yeah, we can't stop here for the day. You're going to have to get yourself out and do another mile. It was like, do I really have to go out and do another mile? But it was okay. So I got out of the van, traipsed around Carnarvon, got to by Carnarvon Castle, and these people asked what I was doing, so I explained. But what I didn't explain was that just across a little bridge I was going to stop for the day, where Malky had parked up. So as I got to Malky, I had to open up the passenger door, explain to them that I was going to have to sort of walk on a little bit around the corner so these people couldn't see me stop. So as I walked around the corner and we went up the road a little bit, Malky decided to play a little game of, right, I'm going to stop the van and then start the van just as you're getting to it, so you have to walk a little further. But as we stopped for the day, I had actually made a marathon for the day with shin splints. Now day 6 started absolutely awful. I got out of the van, I just couldn't move. I couldn't walk. It took me 40 to 45 minutes to cover the first 0.9 of the first mile. I had broken down, I was in tears, I really wasn't in a good state. I got a little bit further up the road and I felt a little bit of a twang in my ligaments in the left. So I had to call Malky. I said, this isn't right, I need you to double back. So Malky double backed, we put more tape on, and it was like, right, okay, put the headphones on, let's go, let's try and get moving. And as I got moving again, it was like, right, it was like day 3, and something again just snapped inside of me, and it was like, no, I need to do this, I need to get moving again, I need to focus, and I know the pain's there, but I need to get moving again. So I did, I got moving again, and you joined me then, and I had the headphones on. It was just like, no, I need to keep moving, I need to keep moving, and we got to 2 miles before Trevor, and it was just like, right, no, focus, I can't have the van stop, I need to keep moving while I'm in this good motion. Next stop around the car park, isn't it?
The next stop is at the bottom of that mountain, on the right.
Yeah, that's what I mean, the car park in there. It's about a couple of miles away, isn't it?
Yeah. Alright.
I just focus.
Happy fucking days.
I just focus.
Am I right to come with you?
You're running with me, are you?
That right, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got these on for motivational speeches because I've just got to focus.
He's running, which is great.
Yeah.
then we got to Trevor, we had a van stop, and we carried on, and you were with me for the next section, and it was like, no, yeah, I'm moving better, let's keep it going. And the uphills felt okay. We hit a steep uphill, but even that sort of felt alright. It was like, right, good, I'm good, I'm moving good. And then we hit a steep downhill, and it was like, this isn't good. The steep downhill hit him more, and it was like, this is so much pain. everyone. North Incline. I knew I had about 5-6 miles to do, and it was okay. And I was moving well still, and I left everyone. I was focused. I was moving, and I was moving forward. And I was like, right, okay, if I can make the most, because it was becoming into dusk, and it was like, right, make the most of it before I lose all the daylight. It was like, right, okay, I should have about 3 to 4 miles to go. And then all of a sudden this great pain struck me on my right foot, and Malky then reached me, and there was this little bit of a dip, and then we had to go up a little bit, but I literally had to crawl across this little bit to get myself across this little bit of marshland without getting my feet wet. And it was just like, it was just so painful. And I said to Malky, how far have we got to go? And he said to me, from here, for me, I thought I had about another 1.5 to 2 miles to go. And he said to me, right, okay, from here it's about 3 to 3.5 miles. And everything just sunk out of me, the energy. It was like, oh, here we go again, another late night. This is not what I need. And Malky became my berating post, and I was swearing at him, and fair play to him, he kept me going, and we trolled and we slogged our way through that 3 miles, and it felt forever. And I think a mile was taking me about half an hour, 40 minutes to do. And as we were getting towards the van, it was just such a slog, and it was like, right, something just doesn't feel right, and we're going to have to check this out when we get to the van. As we got to the van, we got all the taping off, and I put my feet up, and I could just literally see all the swelling around my right ankle. And it was just like, we looked at it and went, that's just not right. And I tried to move my foot up and down, and I just couldn't do it. And it was just like, right, okay, well, we can't retape it now, because we're going to have to reassess it in the morning. It was heart-wrenching, because I wanted to be out on the course, and I was sat there thinking, do I go out on this first mile? And Malky, Sturdy and Badger said, only you can make this decision. And it's your event, you have to make the decision. And this was the difficult part for me, because it was my event. So I had to make the right decision. And that's when it was like, no, this has to be assessed by a proper medical team. I can't really move my ankle. It wasn't just a decision for me. Badger and Sturdy had taken a week off of work, so I was thinking about him. I was thinking about all the runners that were ready to help me out on the course. I was thinking about the charities that I was doing the run for. I was thinking about myself. I wanted to really get out on the course. I wanted to make as much of this and do as much as I could for not just for the charities and everything, but this was a personal journey of grief for myself. I wanted to make everyone proud, and this is where it gets emotional, because I wanted to do my brother proud. I think that's what made the decision so hard on that morning. It was everything inside of me that wanted to carry on, and the part of me that knew I sort of couldn't. And when I had made the decision and I was sat in a van and we were going towards the hospital, the feel of dejection and heartache and pain and everything sort of took over. And in a way, it was like going towards the hospital. It was like, hopefully they'll let me carry on. I want to carry this on. I want to carry this journey on. And there was a part of me that was sort of half relief. It was just like, well, if this is it, this is it. But I put everything on the line. And I went getting into the hospital. They done the x-rays, and the doctor who was assessing me had run marathons himself before. He said the x-rays were fine, but he looked at the tendons and he said, "You're ready. You could go back out there, but if you do, it's not going to get any better.
It's only going to get worse if you carry on.
And the time it takes to heal is only going to get longer." So at that point, I knew the journey was over. But the weight of it was like a little bit of relief as well, because it was like, right, well, I made the right decision at the right time. There was nothing more I could do out there. I put everything, I'd say I put everything on the line. I'd done everything I could possibly have done.